So you're looking to build your new gaming PC and you don't know whether you desperately need to pick up an i7, i5, an AMD CPU or anything else for your gaming needs. Let me answer the rather simple question of should you buy an i7 purely for gaming? No. No, you shouldn't. It really isn't necessary for gaming. An i5 will do you just fine, and if you're on a tight budget, then something like AMD's Athlon 2 X4 860K is a really great shout. So why would you want an i7? Well, if you are planning on gaming and you just have more money than sense, then it's still a perfectly acceptable chip. It does have a couple of FPS over something like the 66 or 7600K, although if you are planning on getting an i7, personally I would go for the more mainstream level, the 77 or 6700Ks. Those are the ones that are currently the best performing CPUs for gaming if that's all you're doing. To give you an example of that, this is the build that I did for the ITX build guide and also the living room gaming PC. It's an i5 6600K and it's a fantastic little gaming PC, has Gigabyte's ITX GTX 1060 in here and it's an awesome little PC. There's also another awesome PC that rocks an i5 6400T, it's the Zotac ZBox Magnus EN1060, and if that review isn't already out yet, it will be very shortly. That's a really awesome little system. And either way, these systems are perfectly fine for gaming. They do a really good job and you don't need to put an i7 in them. If you were planning on doing extra things like video editing, photo editing, 3D modeling, game development, or anything other intensive tasks, then you might want to consider going for an i7. Now if you're just going for simple video editing, you're not doing it as your full-time job or whatever, then the socket 1151 type i7 is going to be just fine for you. If however you're actually a professional video editor or you're a professional games developer or that sort of region, then you probably want to go for one of Intel's X99 CPUs. These are i7 only. They obviously do go up to the Extreme Edition, which is basically just a ridiculously expensive chip that's meant to compete with their Xeons. And of course, if you really want to go fully enterprise, then a Xeon is what you want here. But if you still want an enthusiast grade i7 that can also do video editing and gaming, then one of the 6900K type chips are going to be a very good shout. So to fully embrace the wait for Ryzen meme, we should probably, well, wait for Ryzen. It's going to be a very interesting thing and I do very much look forward to seeing what Ryzen has to offer. But for the time being, let's talk about the two sort of main product lines AMD has. The FX series, now I don't personally recommend these. They're certainly not the worst things on the planet. They certainly do a good enough job at gaming and especially multi-threaded workloads. If you are video editing, that sort of thing, these aren't too bad of a shout, but they are fairly hot, they are fairly power inefficient, especially when you compare them to their Intel rivals at this point in time. If you're planning on getting a lower end chip, if you can just about afford a graphics card and a CPU at the same time, then AMD's Athlon 2 X4 860K is a brilliant little chip. That's a really great shout to go by. If you cannot afford a graphics card, then AMD's APUs aren't that bad either. They're certainly a good starting point. They have decent enough gaming potential, so if you're running at 720p on sort of low to medium settings, they certainly aren't too bad, especially for the money you're paying for them. Although I do recommend going for the Athlon and getting a GPU if you can really stretch your budget to that. But yeah, otherwise that's kind of the main rundown of the chip. So just to hammer my point a little bit more home, here is a couple of performance graphs to show you the difference between i5s and i7s. So I've actually included a couple of tests here, one with the 6900K and one with the 7600K. As you can see, in synthetic numbers, the 6900K does a decent bit better, and without that hyper-threading, the 7600K is a fair bit slower here too. But in real-world numbers, as you can see, the difference between the $1,000 6900K and the $300-400 7700K is 1 FPS if you don't account for overclocking. The difference between the 76 and the 7700Ks, again, really are pretty minimal here as well, so that is something to note. Dirt Rally is a slight exception with the 6900K where you're getting 6 FPS better here, but overall, especially when you compare what you might call the lower end i7s to the i5 7600K, there really isn't a massive performance difference, especially one that you would notice. So you've seen that, hopefully you have a slightly better understanding of why you don't need an i7 for gaming, the slight benefits that they do provide, and of course just a little bit of an extra understanding of what sort of CPU you might want to go for. So if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'd like to know, if you have an i7, do you just use it for gaming or do you actually use it for productivity stuff as well? Let me know in the comments down below, and of course if I've been a complete idiot and forgot something, something or got something wrong, then feel free to let me know in the comments down below too. If you're buying anything on Amazon Overclockers UK, please do use the affiliate links in the description down below. It does genuinely help me out. It supports the videos, it supports the channel, keeps me doing all these videos and all that sort of stuff. So when you buy stuff, please do use those links. And I'll leave a couple of links to CPUs in the description down below if you want to check out prices or pick any of them up. Otherwise, that's kind of it. Check out some of the other videos I'm going to leave over here for you, and of course the subscribe button over there does help me out too. The biggest thing you can do, by the way, besides using the affiliate links and that sort of thing, is share these videos. If you enjoyed them, whether it's on Reddit or tech forums or just on your Facebook or Twitter feeds, please do share them as much as possible. It's the free thing that you can do that helps me out the most. And yeah, on that, obviously subscribe as well. And that's, yeah, I guess that's kind of it really. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you all in the next one.